In the latest edition of Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee, I'm going to be talking about The Art of Murder. It's a new animated pilot that is taking YouTube by storm. It was created and written by Nairali as well as Anoki Someya. And please let me know if I'm pronouncing their names correctly in the comments. I want to give indie creators all the respect, especially for something as cool as this. So, yeah, for today's edition of Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee, I will be reviewing the animated pilot, The Art of Murder from Chalk Chip Animation Studios. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the StudioJake Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee podcast. This is my podcast where I talk about comics, cartoons, while enjoying some delicious coffee. Today I've got an iced brew, which I put in my very nice American flag tumbler. If you would, please like this video, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new version of Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee, or my main vidcast, of course, the StudioJake vidcast, and be sure to become a channel member. I'm always on the hunt for indie projects. I love shouting out indie products right here on my YouTube or Rumble channel, wherever you're watching, but also on my website, studiojakemedia.com. This one just happened to pop up in my feed. I wasn't really searching for it. I hadn't heard about it prior, but I decided to give it a watch because my super cute wife is an artist. My sister is an artist. Of course, she did my cover for my latest novella. My wife did the cover for my very first book. So I'm surrounded by artists, is what I'm trying to say. But I don't know a lot of animators, and I'm very, very stoked when I see an animation project. I have loved animation ever since I was wee high, and I love how it all comes together. So I definitely wanted to give this one a try as soon as I saw it. Now, I am going to give a tentative spoiler warning. I don't want to give too much away because I want you to go and watch it. Just throughout the review, I might let something slip, but I will definitely try not to ruin the ending. Okay, so the story follows 4 drawings done by a little girl named Pip. She draws her favorite animated movie princess, who's called Almond Blossom, but they call her Albie for short. There's an anime ninja named Sosuke, who is clearly a combination of Naruto characters. There's an American cartoon named Wim, who's kind of similar to sort of the Adventure Time type animation. And then she has a detective that she draws from a PG-13 dating Sims game where this detective solves crimes that are close to the heart, and his name is Georgie. They come to life every night while she is asleep, and then one day they discover that Pip has drawn an OC, or an original character, and they show him around her room, they show him the ropes, but they all kind of secretly are jealous because they think Pip may forget about them and just draw him exclusive. However, the next day they discover that his page has been torn, and all of them are suspects. Now, Georgie has a little bit of an alibi, but all the others don't really, and so he wants to solve the mystery of who killed the OC. Okay, to start with, I want to talk about the voice acting. Voice acting can make or break a animation film, whether it's great animation or whatever, because the actors, they still present the story to you, right? So if you have an animated film or short and it's flowing and working well, but then you have really poor voice acting, then yeah, of course it's not going to be that good. But I can happily report that everyone does a fantastic job. Lizzie Freeman voices Pip in the OC, which makes sense, right? You have the OC voiced by the same person who brought him to life, so to speak. I really think she did a good job with both the characters. Of course, OC had more lines of dialogue, but Freeman did excellent with both of the characters. Joey Richer voices Georgie, who, of course, is the detective, and he does a great job. And he actually has a couple of singing lines that he does very well. I really thought that he brought that character to life, no pun intended. Megan Lee voices Win, and she was perfect for sort of that cutesy, sort of Adventure Time, Gravity Falls type animated character. She does great with that role. I think she did fantastic. Lauren Lopez is the voice of Albie, and like I said, of the others, she does amazing. I think that she is fantastic for the role. And then Joey Bazinger does Susuke, who he's also kind of known as that anime guy. He does voice acting a lot for that type of roles. And now, what's interesting about him is his character only speaks in Japanese, and the other characters can't understand him. They kind of gather what he's saying based on, context clues. So it was really good for him to show his talent with acting from both of those. But yeah, I thought everyone did a fantastic job. They really made the story work with what was going on. All right, so one thing that's heavily shown in the marketing of this, as I watched all the trailers for it ahead of actually sitting down to watch the short, is the music. And trailers want to give you the best of, right? I went into it with a little bit of hesitation because I wasn't sure, how that would work. But actually, the music is pretty catchy. It sounds really good. I'm not going to say it's up there with like, a Disney musical or whatever it is, but it was good for what they were doing in this short. It was pretty catchy, and yeah, I had a good time listening to it. It was a lot of fun, and they do this long song when the OC comes to life about what it's like living as a drawing, as their artist avatars of the imagination, so to speak, and that was actually a pretty good song. At the end, Georgie has a number, I think I mentioned this earlier, where, he's kind of singing about solving the crime, and that was actually pretty good. So yeah, it was good. It was competent. I'm not going to say it was blow me away amazing, but it wasn't terrible by any measure. Coffee break before I continue. Okay, so as for the animation, it was good. I mean, I have seen other YouTubers do a little bit better artwork, but as far as character design and background illustration, as well as sort of the world they were living in, I thought it was good. It looked like a typical preteen girls bedroom. I thought the characters came to life. They each had their own unique style. So, for instance, Susuke looks more like a manga character. I mentioned Win kind of looking like a late night Cartoon Network cartoon, similar to Adventure Time or Gravity Falls. And Albie looked like a Disney princess. And then the dating Sims detective Georgie, he kind of looked kind of similar to Albie, but he was still drawn in sort of that sharpness that we see with video games. So he still stood out. The OC kind of looked plain because, again, this is an original character. He's not even colored and he's missing one of his arms. He is really cool. He is a fantastic character. And I thought they were all designed really well and looked really well. Where the rub was with motion. You can kind of tell that maybe it needed an extra layer or two, but I get it. This is a free animated short on YouTube, right? This has kind of been a thing I've noticed with other animated shorts on YouTube where they will have great character design, voice acting, music, background illustration, but then the motion, when they walk, you can still see sort of the imprint that they do for the character's motion. They don't edge that out. So I think if that had been done just a little sharper, could do it. Now you could make the argument that that's because these characters are all in this little girl's imaginations, right? So they might not move as smooth, but I still think that if they had just dressed it up just a little bit and had made it a little bit sharper, I think it could have done well. As I say on my website, StudioJakeMedia.com, bottom line, I loved this short. I really appreciate indie creators who are willing to put their stuff out there for free where everyone can view it. I know that has to be really hard, certainly hard for me as a novelist. So I get it, I understand. And I just want to say, The Art of Murder, you get 4 out of 5 stars. If I was to do a starring system, I don't usually do that on my website. I just kind of bottom line it. It's fantastic. Keep up the good work. The whole team behind this deserves all the praise. I'm very impressed. And I'm really glad that 2D animation, even if it's done through CGI, sells, which, by the way, I'm not accusing the Art of Murder staff of doing this. I'm just saying generally, I'm glad 2D animation and that style is making a little bit of a comeback after all the soulless CGI films we've been getting over the last decade. So Congratulations, Art of Murder team, the Chop Chip Animation Studio. You guys rock. I can't wait for the sequel, and I'll be sure to review it and give it a watch when it comes out. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it on my main vidcast, but probably I'll do it right here on Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee. Thank you so much for watching my latest edition of Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. Head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com. You can sign up through your email for free, where you get all kinds of articles. I put one up at least once a day, so you can head on over, sign up. It's totally free, and there are no ads. If you want to support me in my endeavors, you can head on over to my locals community. You can sign up for a subscription, or you can send me tips, especially on the articles that I post there that are just for my locals community. You can check those out as well. If you really, really want to support me, buy one or all 4 of my novels. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony. I've got the Seven Royals trilogy. Book 1 and Book 2 are out. Book 3 is on its way, but Book 3 will complete the Dark Army trilogy that I am writing. Last but certainly not least, you also have my new novella, Blessed Child. It's a fantasy romance. You definitely want to get your hands on that. If you have children who are 12 and older, you can certainly get one or all 4. You can read them together as a family. There's enough seriousness for adults to be engaged with it, and there's enough action and adventure for children to enjoy it as well. So pick one or all 4 up. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching today's version of Comics, Cartoons, and Coffee, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
'Cause I've been living life right like I